Nature when I was a child was not a wonderland. To me, nature was an apple orchard that my mom picked apples from 12 hours a day. And the challenging thing about being a queer person of color that's also a climber is that I'm constantly climbing two mountains.
This is Tag, and for the last week, I've been in Seattle, Washington with Haimy. Haimy, what are we doing here?
We're here at the Yakima Valley, and we're here to meet Bam and his mom.
I only started hiking 3 or 4 years ago. My first year climbing, I wanted to bag every peak. Last summer, I climbed 20 peaks. I saw nature as something that could be conquered. And then I started climbing and looking around and building a relationship with the more than human world. And that's when my relationship with nature began to change. I got the name Backwoods Barbie when I first started hiking. It represents my love of nature, and it also represents my femininity and the marriage of those two things in one body. Growing up as the child of Mexican immigrants, I was born with a burden that I think a lot of kids don't have. When my mother was pregnant with me, she worked as a migrant laborer in LA County. So as a kid, all I wanted to do was make my mom proud. In high school, I had to tell her that I was gay. And I remember hearing my mother scream. And I remember seeing my father, a shade of pale that I've never seen him in before. So I couldn't go back to the closet after that. I had to move out of my house to survive. I feel like my parents have come around, and now I really feel like my parents are proud of me. This is the valley that I grew up in. This is the valley that my mother found work in as an immigrant. It'll be our second hike. To me, nature was an apple orchard in eastern Washington that my mom picked apples from 12 hours a day. The sunburn on my mother's face. I never allowed myself to even imagine that this would be a world that I would want to explore someday. The image of the outdoorsy family was white. They had resources. They spoke English. It took me a long time to decolonize my relationship with nature because I didn't think I could be outdoorsy. And the challenging thing about being a person of color, a queer person of color that's also a climber, is that I'm constantly climbing two mountains. I had to worry about rockfall, but I also was climbing a different mountain at the same time, realizing that I'm the only person of color on that mountain, realizing that I'm the only queer person. That's a weight I've had on my back that I have to climb with.
Fue un sacrificio grande porque tuve que buscar otro lugar donde darles un futuro mejor a mis hijos. Pero yo cometí muchos errores contigo porque no estaba lista y de repente me doy cuenta que mi hijo es gay. Pero gracias a Dios alcancé a reaccionar y decirte que te amo, seas lo que seas, si quieres mi hijo, y que te voy a amar toda la vida, seas gay o no seas gay.
Thank you, Mom. Te quiero mucho.
Yo también te quiero mucho, hijo.
My mom recently told me when she sees me on the summit of a mountain, she feels like she's standing right there with me. As a mother who has sacrificed everything for her children, whatever her children do, she does. And I hope to create space on every summit, real or metaphorical, for not only my mother, but others like her.
For another Tag story, check out Action Jackson, domestic violence survivor and bodybuilder.